All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Good games today. Top 10 versus top 10. Great. Tomorrow, we will have Carol Robidoux will be joining us again. Katie will be here. And we will do Bill Cini's trivia. I think you can catch Bill tonight over at Shoppers over there on Lake Ave across from the arena. And keep it right here. Tuesday night, you got Matt Connaughton Unleashed coming up at 4 p.m., followed by Through the Stage Door with Robbio and Retro Spectrum Radio. That's all going down tonight right here. WMNH. Have a great Tuesday, folks. Adios.
As long as you have your health, be thankful for it and keep away from all these drugs and stuff that the kids are pushing today.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
You are listening to WMNH-LP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Contact us by email at WMNH953@gmail.com or through our website at WMNHradio.org.
Welcome, everybody. It's that time again. Matt Connerton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Tuesday, April 4, 2023. Welcome, everybody. We do have a guest today joining us in the second hour, by the way, Vero G, who has been on the show before, but it's been a long time, but she's going to be Skyping in. She does a lot of things. She's a musician, and we are going to play a little bit of her music later. She's also, she's an entrepreneur. She's a model. She does a radio show. She's an activist. She does a lot of really great and positive things. And she was recently in Forbes magazine, and we're going to talk about that too. So very, very cool. So we'll be talking to her for a bit in the second hour. As far as the first hour, I don't know. Well, okay, here's what I think we should probably do. Is it's obvious what the big news of the day is, and it's it's a somber thing, it's a serious thing, and we should treat it with the gravity that it deserves, I think. You already know where I'm going with this, of course. We need to talk about Vince McMahon's mustache. It's really, have you seen the pictures of this thing? It looks like a caterpillar crawled onto his face, and he just said, "Hey, little guy," and decided to drop some crazy glue on it and let it stay there. And it's quite hideous. He almost looks like he reminds me of Raul Julia in the Addams Family movies. It's horrifying, really. No, that's not it at all. Today, I mean, that is don't get me wrong, that is upsetting. I don't remember having nightmares last night, but if I did, it was about Vince McMahon's new mustache. I mean, you got to see this thing if you haven't seen it. Seriously, even if you're not a wrestling fan, just go online and look up Vince McMahon mustache. He's now appearing on television again, making the rounds. He was on CNBC yesterday, for example, talking about the merger because they've sold the WWE to Endeavor, the same company that owns UFC. It's a whole thing. And it looks like he looks so bizarre. He doesn't look like Vince McMahon anymore. It's very strange. But you'll see what I mean if you look at a picture of him. But no, we do have obviously something far more pressing to discuss. And I am keeping an eye on, by the way, the NBC News feed, because I know that District Attorney Alvin Bragg is supposed to make some sort of a statement, I believe. So if that happens during the first hour, or even if it's late in the second hour and we have time to get to it, I will carry that live because I'm curious to hear what he has to say. But we do have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connerton Unleashed. Who's this?
I am very concerned about where I'm going to live in the next couple months. And I'm actually getting some legal representation, I hope. I think I do qualify.
Oh.
And or I'll have to have another alternative to legal representation.
Yes.
But this is a total shock, to me. I didn't think that I would be facing this dilemma.
Yes.
And there's an old song,
a song,
an old rock and roll song that says, "Why is everybody always picking on me?"
Ah, yes.
And believe me, I am the victim.
Just like President Trump.
No doubt about it.
You're just like him.
Because things are not coincidental.
Right.
It could be the devil.
The devil.
Could be
Satan.
Could be some of you people out there putting.
Could be the devil or Satan. I'm glad he separated those into different options.
That I
mean, I always thought it was the same guy, just different names. I don't know.
Persevere. And because we're New Yorkers.
Yes.
And
New York's strong.
The old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And there's no way that I'm going to allow things like that to destroy me, because it can maybe other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could have been, in the things that I went through in my life, I could have been a drug addict, I could have been a criminal, I could have been, you know, a lot of bad things.
You could have been a contender.
My hobbies, which is electronics, and I turned out really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in this situation,
yes,
I have to decide, what am I going to do? What are my options? Well, first of all, the one thing that bugs me the most is
he clears his throat a lot, this gentleman. Voice is familiar, but I can't quite place him.
And it seems like the show is on hold until I can get my personal...
Show's not on hold. We're on 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Now, 3 months just started today, or a few days ago.
3 months started today?
And it's a short time, but it's not such a short time.
It's 90 days.
Before it goes into the court system.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, I could do other things like, you know, look for a place and I'm not just going to look for any place. I want something really, really, you know, decent, really nice.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Kind of like this place here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that I could spend a lot of my time in. Just
Alvin Bragg is here.
Bragg, the DA of Manhattan County. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here today. Earlier this afternoon, Donald Trump was arraigned on a New York Supreme Court indictment returned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Under New York state law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime. That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct. The defendant repeatedly made false statements on New York business records. He also caused others to make false statements. The defendant claimed that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. This simply was not true. And it was a false statement that the defendant made month after month in 2017. April, May, June, and so on through the rest of the year. For 9 straight months, the defendant held documents in his hand containing this key lie, that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. And he personally signed checks for payments to Michael Cohen for each of these 9 months. In total, the grand jury found there were 34 documents with this critical false statement. Why did Donald Trump repeatedly make these false statements? The evidence will show that he did so to cover up crimes relating to the 2016 election. Donald Trump, executives at the publishing company American Media Incorporated, Mr. Cohen, and others agreed in 2015 to a catch and kill scheme. That is, a scheme to buy and suppress negative information to help Mr. Trump's chance of winning the election. As part of this scheme, Donald Trump and others made 3 payments to people who claimed to have negative information about Mr. Trump. To make these payments, They set up shell companies, and they made yet more false statements, including, for example, in AMI, American Media Incorporated's business records. One of the three people that they paid to keep quiet was a woman named Stormy Daniels. Less than 2 weeks before the presidential election, Michael Cohen wired $130,000 to Stormy Daniels' lawyer. That payment was to hide damaging information from the voting public. The participant scheme was illegal. The scheme violated New York election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap, and the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law. That is why Mr. Trump made false statements about his payments to Mr. Cohen. He could not simply say that the payments were a reimbursement for Mr. Cohen's payments to Stormy Daniels. To do so, to make that true statement, would have been to admit a crime. So instead, Mr. Trump said that he was paying Mr. Cohen for fictitious legal services in 2017 to cover up actual crime committed the prior year. And in order to get Michael Cohen his money back, they planned one last false statement. In order to complete the scheme, they planned to mischaracterize the repayments to Mr. Cohen as income to the New York State tax authorities. The conduct I just described and that which was charged by the grand jury is felony criminal conduct in New York State. True and accurate business records are important everywhere, to be sure. They are all the more important in Manhattan, the financial center of the world. That is why we have a history in the Manhattan DA's office of vigorously enforcing white-collar crime. My office, including the talented prosecutors you saw at arraignment earlier today, has charged hundreds of felony falsifying business records. This charge, it can be said, is the bread and butter of our white-collar work. And fraud presents itself in all different forms here in Manhattan. We have charged falsifying business records for those who violated federal bank secrecy laws. We have charged falsifying business records for those who were seeking to cover up sex crimes. And we have brought this charge for those who committed tax violations. At its core, this case today is one with allegations like so many of our white-collar cases. Allegations that someone lied again and again to protect their interests and evade the laws to which we are all held accountable. As this office has done time and time again, we today uphold our solemn responsibility to ensure that everyone stands equal before the law. No amount of money and no amount of power changes that enduring American principle. I'll now take questions.
So we're going to take a limited number of questions. There are no follow-up questions. One question to the reporter. I will call on you. And again, we have limited time. Thank you. The first question will be Rick.
God, I don't know what that terrible sound is. Sorry about that.
Some argue that this is a political move.
Oh, they got it.
Person, the frigates are going to go into.
We conducted a thorough and rigorous investigation, as we're known to do, at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. I've been doing this for 24 years and am no stranger to rigorous, complex investigations. I bring cases when they're ready. Having now conducted a rigorous, thorough investigation, the case was ready to be brought, and it was brought.
Mr. Bryant, the indictment says that there were 34 false business records. And they were done concealed with another crime, but the indictment does not specifically say what those crimes were. We are assuming, perhaps, that they might be election-related. I'm wondering if you can specify what laws were also broken.
Sure. So let me say as an initial matter, the indictment doesn't specify that because the law does not so require. In my remarks, I mentioned a couple of laws, which I will highlight again now. The first is New York State election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. I further indicated a number of unlawful means, including more additional false statements, including statements that were planned to be made to tax authorities. I also noted the federal election law cap on contribution limits.
But why weren't there those crimes charged? Why weren't he charged with those crimes?
Well, I'm not going to go into our deliberative process on what was brought. The charges that were brought were the ones that were brought. The evidence in the law is the basis for those decisions.
You had expressed a year ago that you had some reservations about the case's readiness. Can you talk to us about what were some of the questions in your mind that needed to be answered in order to bring a case of this magnitude?
I'm not going to go chapter and verse into any thinking. What I will say is, I believe the time period you're talking about, I've been in office for a couple of months. The investigation, in my view, was not concluded into the conduct in particular that is the basis for the charges today. Since that time, we've had more evidence made available to the office and opportunity to meet with additional witnesses. So as I said earlier, I've been doing this for 24 years. I don't bring cases prior to a thorough and rigorous investigation. Now, having done so, the case has been brought.
Mr. Bragg, Garrett Hake with NBC News. Your predecessor took a hard look at this case and decided not to charge it. Federal prosecutors took a hard look at this case and decided not to charge it. Do you believe you have new evidence that led you to decide to charge this, or why now?
Well, as I just mentioned, we have had available to the office additional evidence that was not in the office's possession prior to my time here. And as to your part of your question about the federal, we have a distinct and strong, I would say profound, independent interest in New York State. This is the business capital of the world. We regularly do cases involving false business statements. The bedrock, in fact, the basis for business integrity and a well-functioning business marketplace is true and accurate record keeping. That's the charge that's brought here, falsifying New York State business records.
Thank you. D.A. Grant, I'm just going to read that one line from your statement of facts. The participants also took steps that mischaracterized for tax purposes the true nature of payments and furtherance of the scheme. You allege former President Trump was one of the participants who mischaracterized the payments for tax purposes.
I'm not going to go beyond the plain language statement of facts, which I think speaks for itself.
Brad, can you please comment on the strength of the evidence that Trump personally intended violating state election law, including actions that are charged in the indictment?
So the charge is falsifying business records. The charge requires, as I specified, criminal conduct that was concealed. One of the concealed crimes we allege is New York State election law. I sort of went through in our statement of facts, which I think many of you have in front of you, goes through things including, text messages, emails, contemporaneous phone records, multiple witnesses. All of that will be, as you saw in the fall, borne out in a public courtroom in downtown Manhattan.
Last question is Jonah.
D.A. Grant, the charges that were related to the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels, the release from your office also mentions another woman, Karen McDougal, as well as a doorman. Can you comment on how those players are related to the charges you've brought or to the case overall?
I'm glad you put your finger on that, because it's not just about one payment. It is 34 business records, 34 false statements in business records that were concealing criminal conduct. And the earlier question about New York State election law, when I talked about conspiracy to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. Those unlawful means, we allege, include the conduct set forth in the statement of facts, which is additional false statements separate and apart from the charged ones in AMI documents, planned false statements to taxing authorities. It is not just that one $130,000 wire payment. Thanks so much.
Any comment about any incitement of violence by former president?
At what point do you think that that order is necessary?
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin.
All right, looks like that's it. Sorry, the sound quality there was poor during the. I mean, we could hear District Attorney Alvin Bragg pretty clearly, but for some reason, and I looked for another feed, and there was no better quality feed. Apparently, it was just an audio problem they were having on site. But when the reporters were asking questions, there was this loud hum. It almost sounded like, when somebody puts a fan right in front of or puts a microphone right in front of a loud fan. Well, if you're just joining us, this is Matt Connerton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. And that was a live feed of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. We knew that he was going to be giving some sort of a statement today to the media, and there it is. He it wasn't, what was it, maybe 10 minutes, and then he took some questions, and like I said, it was a little bit difficult to hear the questions. I apologize for that, but if you are just joining us, we do have a guest coming up in the second hour via Skype. We're going to be joined by Vero G, but for now, obviously, this is the big news of the day, Trump's arraignment in court, and now he's on his way back to Mar-a-Lago in Florida. And like I said the other day, and by the way, a lot of great comments in the Facebook live chat, and we will get to those. And if you'd like to call us today, of course, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connerton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is give us a call at 603-250-6007. No, but it is, like I was saying the other day, when news of the indictment initially broke, or last week, I should say. I did find a couple of song parodies. I do love a good political song parody, but nothing to celebrate. In my feeling is, it's a pretty somber day, in the sense that what the country has to go through with this kind of thing doesn't mean it doesn't need to be done, or that it shouldn't be done, and we can explore that further, but. But the other thing I would just say, too, I would just caution people about, for anyone who's kind of rubbing their hands together, no matter how you feel about it, if you're going, ooh, this is about to get really good, this is about to be really interesting, it's actually not. They don't go back to court until December. And this is actually likely to be fairly boring, at least until then. There's the whole discovery process in terms of evidence and all of that. So it's going to be a while. We might see other interesting developments happen. Trump's also got the Georgia case, and of course the secret documents federal case, and so there's other things that are swirling around him. But as far as this goes, this is not going to be must-see TV, to harken back to the slogan we used to hear in the 80s on NBC. But Trump is speaking tonight, and we'll see what he has to say, I think at 8 o'clock tonight. But our friend Ron is on the line. Hi, Ron.
Hi, Matt. It sounded like the district attorney is not only well organized, obviously, but sounds like he's been collecting evidence for quite some time. Now, the defense, how have they had an equal opportunity and timeline to, I guess, defend Trump? How else can I word it? Or does it sound like the district attorneys had a head start on all of this?
Well, the district attorney has a head start because it's the state bringing the charges. But now going forward, that will be their job. Branch, I forget his first name, the new attorney, and then of course Joe Tacopina, or I think I'm going to call him Joey Tax going forward, because I like to imagine if he was a Sopranos character, that's what they would call him, Joey Tax, and it's just fun to say. But now the process begins of discovery, and the way our system of justice works, of course, in the United States, you have to share evidence with your adversaries in court, even if it's something that's going to actually help your opponents. you have to share everything that you have, and that's why they call it discovery. You're discovering new evidence, and there might be another reason they call it that. I'm not a legal expert, of course, but that process begins now. That's going to be the next step.
Now, my next question is sort of a question, but, it's vague. I know before Trump became president that his name carried a lot of clout, and he had a lot of businesses of that type, or real estate and this and that. And when he became president, he could no longer operate those businesses, and he passed everything on to his son. Now that he's not president any longer, has anything changed? Will he become VP of those businesses, or will he probably just relinquish it and leave everything to his son? I mean, are the businesses there a question now? Some of them, the way I'm hearing it, some of the businesses might even be at question.
I don't know. I haven't paid any attention to that part of it. I just assumed that when he was no longer president, he went back to being in charge of everything. But you could argue that he always was really in charge of everything. The emolument, I can never say the word, emoluments clause, I'm still not saying it correctly, in the Constitution says you cannot use your office to enrich yourself, enrich your business. So in other words, if you're president of the United States, there was some arguing over that during Trump's presidency. He's got Trump hotels and, this kind of stuff. And there was an argument often made by his opponents that it's not right. He should not be able to continue to even profit from these things now that he's president. But there's always a lot of, I shouldn't say always, because with Trump it was such a unique scenario. But there was some arguing and hand-wringing over, how do you handle this, and what should the limits be? And it was difficult for, I think, anyone to really come to a consensus on that. So I don't know to what extent he actually relinquished anything. He also made some comments recently. I should see if I can find the clip. It's unintentionally hilarious. He made some comments where it sounds like he really is on the outs with his own children, maybe because they don't want to be involved in the new campaign, or at least Ivanka doesn't. But I don't know, Ron. I mean, that all gets complicated, and I haven't paid that much attention to it. I also heard yesterday that Obama is thinking of running for presidency again. Did you hear anything about that? He can't. No, I did not hear anything about that, and he is constitutionally prohibited from doing so. He already served 2 terms. Maybe then I didn't pay enough attention to what they were saying. I thought I was under the impression that he was going to he may be running again. And no, I don't know. Last but not least, I hope this dies out. I hope it's not another OJ. If he goes to trial in December, great. But I hope we can report on other things between now and then, besides Trump. Well, I would just like to see it all sealed up until it's finished. Well, I mean, as far as this case goes, Ron, you're not going to hear much between now and then. And that's kind of the point I was trying to make, too, to people who are kind of rubbing their hands together and they're excited about this case and they think, ooh, now it's going to get really interesting. It's actually not. It's going to be very boring, at least until December. Now, once they go back to court, it might start to get interesting again. But even then, it's not going to be as fascinating as everyone thinks necessarily. This is a pretty dry case, and it's also weak compared to what else is coming down the pike. I think, I mean, again, I'm not a legal expert, but it seems to me like the greater dangers to him are, of course, the secret documents issue and Georgia, election interference in Georgia, based on that phone call with Brad Raffensperger. I think those are ultimately more dangerous to him. Of course, none of it's really dangerous to him because Trump is in the unique position where the more legal problems he has, it's actually better for his campaign. He's already raised, I believe the latest number I saw was $7 million in campaign funds since the announcement of the indictment. And sure enough, some of his aides are already online selling a picture of a fake mugshot, a T-shirt with a fake mugshot on it that says not guilty. So they're going to profit from this as much as they can, and so in that regard, it's actually, turning lemons into lemonade, I suppose. He'll never win the general election with all of this, but he will win the nomination. I mean, I'm more certain of it than ever. He's going to be the nominee because that the core base of the party loves all of this. You know, Trump tells them they're not just after me, they're after all of us, and we're all in this together. And you've got that hardcore third of the base that just, you know, they're with him no matter what, ride or die. So this actually emboldens them in a sense. But this case is about to get very quiet again until December, I believe.
Matt, one more quick question, and then I'll let you go. When actually is the next election to take place? Now, he's going to go to court in December, but does this court have to be all finished before the next election takes place?
No, there's no, the two, well, yeah, I mean, he's going to be, well, you have the primaries, so he'll be, he's going to be dealing with all these legal issues while he's, you know, well into primary season, of course.
Wow.
But there's no, you know, the way our justice system works, I mean, it's not like they're not going to work around the primary schedule with all the court stuff. You know, he's just going to have to go through. But like I said, it's actually going to help him win the nomination, all of this. So it almost doesn't matter. Like, he's probably better off sitting in a courtroom on any given day than actually going to a debate, because, you know, he gets all the sympathy from the base, and he raises all that money. So the fact that, you know, all of this stuff with not only this, but these other investigations will impact, well, maybe not impact, but it will certainly go into primary season, I think will help him ultimately.
Now, real fast, and I said my other one was I was ready to stop, but now I just one more. They're going after Trump. That's fine. But does this also open up a can of worms for his lawyers? Are they guilty of anything?
Well, there is that one attorney, her name escapes me now. I forget her name now. It's on the tip of my tongue, too. There's the one that signed that legal affidavit swearing that under penalty of perjury, I believe, legally, that all of these secret documents at Mar-a-Lago had been turned over. And that was a lie. So she certainly is in trouble. And if it turns out that she was directed by Trump to do that, then that's trouble for him as well. But I know she's certainly in trouble. And Michael Cohen was his attorney at one time, and he ended up in prison over the case that they're discussing today, where Trump was arraigned in Manhattan District Court today. But yeah, it's not always. I know Rudy Giuliani. He wasn't disbarred, but he was. His law license was suspended, I believe. So there are, aside from the fact that if you're Trump's lawyer, you're working for a guy who might not pay you. There are also legal.
Yeah, no kidding.
There are also legal risks too. But yeah, he's notorious for not paying his attorneys, and I think Trump thinks that every attorney is like those buy here, pay here lawyers you see on TV. You know, if we don't win your case, you don't owe us anything. So Trump never paid Giuliani because Giuliani couldn't figure out a way to keep Trump in the White House. So yeah, there are legal risks to even working for Trump.
Well, I think I'm going to go make some popcorn and sit back and listen and watch all of this.
Okay.
Matt, thanks for your time. You did answer some questions that I was, curious about. So thanks a lot.
Anytime, Ron. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was our friend Ron, and that does open up the line for you if you'd like to weigh in on anything. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. We do have, make sure you do it soon if you are going to do it, because we have a guest Skyping in at the top of the hour, Vero G, and we're going to play some of her music. Actually, I'm going to play one of her songs when it comes close to time, and looking forward to that. So if you'd like to get in with a call, the clock is ticking, but you can at 603-250-6007. Big day. We've got the Trump arraignment. We've still got, I can't get Vince McMahon's new mustache off my mind. You've got to see that. If you haven't seen a picture of that yet, it is something. And it's weird too. I think Jenny pointed out this in the chat room. So he's got the mustache. The mustache is like jet black. And it looks like they dyed his eyebrows jet black and his hair is jet black. And, he's almost, Vince is in his late 70s. I think he's older than Trump, actually, but younger than Biden. But, you can kind of get away with that. I mean, he took all the gray out of his hair. You can kind of get away with that if you go with maybe brown. I had a hairstylist tell me this once. Go with, if you're taking out the gray, go with brown, preferably a light brown. But to make your hair just jet black, it doesn't work. And by the way, Vince's face is messed up too. It looks like he got some Botox. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, let's look at these Facebook live chat comments. It is a very, very busy chat room today, as I knew that it would be. Jenny, of course, is in the chat room and says, Shalom, peeps. EZG Eric Gagnon says, Happy Taco Tuesday. Yes. Joe Perro from the band Stand Up Audio says in the chat, hey, Matt, we have 2 tickets for you at the Rex Theater for June 3rd. Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Jenny messaged me and said she's got you booked on the show as well for June 2nd to promote that. So that will be excellent. Yeah, Stand Up Audio, they were on the show, well, it was a couple of years ago now. And a great band, and we have... We've played some of their music, of course. Tom Blanchard joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, it's a great day, isn't it? Yeah. Well, like I said, Tom, I mean, to me, it's a somber day. I don't like that. Again, I always say nobody is above the law. There's someone who likes to text me and tell me that that's I'm just reciting that as an empty platitude, but it's easy to call that an empty platitude when it's about somebody you like. If I was saying that about somebody he didn't like, he wouldn't say that, certainly, but just being honest. But and this country, in this country, we have a long tradition of not holding wealthy and powerful people accountable. With exceptions here and there, but for the most part, power and wealth protects power and wealth. So to see someone actually held accountable is a good thing. But I don't feel, to me, it's not a great day. And don't get me wrong, Tom, I'm not admonishing you or criticizing you in any way for feeling that way. Everyone can take this and interpret it and internalize it however they wish, however they want to feel about it, whether you think it's a great day like Tom does, whether you think it's a terrible day because you're MAGA. And you love Trump. However it is you feel, you have a right to how you feel. But to me, I'm looking at it like, this is our justice system, and we will let the process work. And who knows? I mean, Trump may be acquitted. He's got bigger problems to worry about, which is part of why, too, I would just point out to those who would say, well, this is all just, the left out to get Trump or the deep state. If that were the case, this is a pretty poor strategy. Granted, I realize Democrats do sometimes bungle things in their pursuit of Trump, like the impeachments, especially that first one. But if this were a conspiracy, the left and the deep state and George Soros and whoever else you want to throw in there, this isn't where they would start, because this is probably the weakest of the various cases that Trump is having to deal with. The strongest is probably the federal case over the secret documents. That's probably the strongest. And this is, I would say, this is the weakest. So, again, I'm not a legal expert. I'm speaking only as a layman and an observer. But so I don't think there's any grand strategy here conspiratorially against Trump, personally. Alex Whiteley, our friend from the UK, joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, Tuesday night, Mattisfaction. Hello. Wonderful to see you, Alex. Charles Richardson from the state of Florida joins us and says, yo, Matt, greetings and good morning. Crystal, where Alex is, it's night, and apparently in Florida, it's still morning. Now, I thought they were in the same time zone, but I also know that Florida's a little bit of a different kind of place, so maybe things do work differently there. Crystal, our friend from the great state of Illinois, joins us in the chat. Hello, Crystal. Charles says, this is referring to Vince McMahon. The WWE stash is disturbing, almost as disturbing as the end of Raw last night, Monday Night Raw, of course. Yeah, the stash is, I can't get it out of my mind. I don't know I don't know what's going on there. I mean, the mustache that Vince has grown, it reminds me of when I was in high school and I had facial hair coming in for the first time. And I remember one of my friends was like, hey, Canarton, because that was my nickname. Hey, Canarton, when are you going to shave that thing? It looks terrible. And I said, I guess it's about that time. Actually, it was junior high school. I said, I guess it's about that time. I need to learn to shave because it did look pretty bad. But Vince's mustache, it is, I would understand if it were Halloween time. I don't know what he's going for. He doesn't look like the same person. It's very, very strange. Yeah, Jenny says it looks like they had just dyed his mustache and eyebrows. Yeah, well, he was going on television for the first time in a long time. Let's see. Oh, we have a call. We'll grab this. I think this is our friend Charles. Charles, is that you?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Well, good morning in Florida.
Yes, good morning.
Yes.
Listen, things are down here in Florida. I'm technically on medical leave, so I think right now everything is morning to me. Until the sun goes down, that's nighttime. There is no afternoon anymore.
I understand. Hey, by the way, I know you're a big Disney fan. I saw that Disney kind of did a little bit of an end run around your governor there, Ron DeSantis. We haven't had a chance to get to it on the show, and I don't know if I fully understand all the details. But Disney got a little. I don't know if revenge is quite the right term, but a little payback.
No, it is. It is. So the second to the last show that we did, according to what I understand, is the day before DeSantis' team took over, they ratified all laws stating that, or ratified anything to do with development of the land that Disney owns. Nobody can touch it except for the original Reedy Creek Development District, up to 21 years after the death of King Henry's youngest son, or whatever that is.
Yes.
So basically, to my understanding, that's Prince Harry, or the baby of Prince Harry.
Oh.
And until he dies, 21 years later, that's when DeSantis can run it.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's an amazing story, this obscure law, but apparently it's on the books.
It's on the books. It's all legal. But DeSantis has taken legal action. But everybody that's on Disney's side, of course, Disney's side, is saying everything was done through the books. It was made public. We've done nothing wrong. This is all legal. This is all binding. Good luck. So I think Disney got one up on DeSantis.
It would appear so.
But I wanted to, the reason I called is obviously for more entertainment purposes. I want to get your overall, because I know you watched WrestleMania.
Yes.
I know you did. I know you may not be a WWE fan.
No, I am.
But you at least kept tabs on WrestleMania, right?
Oh, yeah. No, we ended up watching most of it, actually. Yes.
What were your thoughts on night one versus night two? Me, I personally think night one overshadowed night two.
I think so, too. Night one, you had a pretty big moment there with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning the tag team titles against the Usos. And night two was kind of like, the air getting let out of the balloon with how that main event ended. I'm not hating on it. I know there's long-term plans, and the nice thing about wrestling is the story never truly ends. But, yeah, I would say, I think overall I enjoyed night one more.
Yeah. I think night one just set the bar so high that I don't think anything that night two could have captured would have, unless Cody won it. I think maybe that would have made everything even. But you're right. I think there's more to it. But all the news outlets were saying Roman's taking a big chunk of time off, maybe even as late as SummerSlam.
Oh,
and it's like you would think he would relinquish the belt and let Cody have it, or they would let Cody run it. So, okay, they didn't do it on WrestleMania, so Raw opens up with Cody demanding a rematch, and of course Paul and his goons just say, no, let's do a tag match. So Brock Lesnar shows up. Okay, this could get interesting. And at the end, it's Brock Lesnar turning on Cody, F5ing him through everything, including the table and the steps. It's like, that had Vince McMahon written all over it. That did not have Triple H written on it.
Well, you know
so
why?
I'm wondering if Vince is coming back to
he apparently
put the fist into the face of WWE fans.
Well, yeah, I saw the news today. Vince was actually in charge last night, and
that's why I was understanding. He had an interview about the merger. They asked him, one of the questions was, are you going to be in charge of creative? And of course, the answer yes and no, which I don't believe the no.
Right.
He says yes on a higher level, but no, not in like the day-to-day or the weeds, he called it.
Yeah.
And I would think higher level, that means everything has to go through you again.
Exactly.
You don't necessarily have the ideas, but you still have to approve everything.
Right. Yeah.
So, and if that's the case, that's a real poke in the eye, and I honestly think that may have been in order to get the deal done. Maybe that was one thing that UFC wanted to do, is to keep McMahon in charge, which I don't know why. I don't understand it.
I suspect so. Well, that might have been the only way he would do it, because it was ultimately up to him as a majority shareholder too. You know, he had to agree to it. And and trending online today was worst Raw ever, I think, because apparently last night's show, it was like an old Vince show, because Vince was back in charge, and
it was.
People were very disappointed with it.
It was okay up until, you know, they should have had a rematch, and Roman should have dropped the title and have a nice day.
Right.
But what the rumblings are is, well, they want Roman to carry it for 1,000 days, and then possibly release it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they're talking about SummerSlam when everything falls apart. Well, it's like you start getting cracks in the bloodline. Where do you go? Where's the story go from there? Because obviously the Usos last night were told, we don't need you. Go to the jet. Have a nice day. Obviously, because they lost the titles, so it's like they're not on the as high of the totem pole as Roman wants them anymore.
Right.
So I'm thinking it's like, do the Usos start turning on Reigns at some point in time? And, you know, I mean, the Raw stunk, but could there be a longer game plan for this? And where does Cody go from here?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well,
it's just interesting how it stinks that Vince is back in charge, and they just couldn't let the momentum continue. Even though Triple H tried to go ahead, he opened up Raw and said, nobody's going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're still going to bring you everything we love. And the egg was dropped.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's only temporary. Maybe Vince was just back for one last hurrah. Who knows? But
hopefully,
hopefully he shaves off that mustache soon. It's hideous.
Yeah. But I may have an announcement.
Okay.
Coming up maybe in a few months. Stay tuned.
All right. Very good. Well, I look forward to that.
Take care.
All right, Charles. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was Charles Richardson, of course, from Florida. And I'd say let's get one more call in, but we could, but it'll have to be really quick. If you have something quick, 603-250-6007, because in a moment we're going to show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we're going to play this great track, Love Don't Hurt, by Vero G, who is our musical guest today. She's going to be Skyping in at 5 p.m. And I believe this, she's among the many things that she does. She's also an activist fighting against domestic violence, which I assume I'll ask her about the song, of course, and about her activism, and we'll see what else we get into when she Skypes in. But my assumption is that that's what the song's about. But really great song. Let's see. Just before we hit the top of the hour, I want to make sure we don't miss anybody in the chat room. Very busy chat room today. Like I said, I assumed it would be. Tom Blanchard says, gee, my heart is bleeding. I think Tom's being sarcastic. I don't know if that's a reference to Trump's arraignment or the call we got, the first call we got to open the show. Crystal says, why would New York trust Cohen? He lied to Congress. Well, that's a good point. Crystal, Cohen is not necessarily a reliable witness. I don't know if he was on under oath when he testified in front of Congress or not. Jenny said the presser from the DA indicates Trump may have signed and issued the checks while he was president. Alex Whiteley says no one should be able to sexually assault someone and then pay for it to go away. The law should be absolute. That's a reference, of course, to is it Sharon McDougal? I think it's Sharon, right? Sharon McDougal. Alex says, literally, that's regarding the press conference. Yeah, and Charles had some, to be honest, though, there's some criticism in the chat room about the questions that were being asked at the press conference, but I felt like it was hard to even hear what the questions were in some instances because of the sound quality that they were having, the sound quality issue that they were having on site. Miriam Banish joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Miriam. Nice to see you. Let's see. And Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont also in the chat room. Hello. All right, let's do this. We are approaching the top of the hour. We're going to go ahead and, like I said, we'll show some love to our sponsors, and then we're going to play this great track, Love Don't Hurt from Vero G, who's going to be joining us via Skype in just a few minutes. So there is plenty more to come today on Matt Connerton Unleashed. We are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Don't go away. Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Too
Wow, what a great song. That is Vero G. That is called Love Don't Hurt. And we await our guest. She's not with us yet. She's going to be Skyping in, but Skype can be a little glitchy at times. So we'll give her a few minutes. But welcome. It is Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are well into hour number 2, numero dos here. We are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM. Here in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. Oh, here we go. Get her in here. Hello, is this Vero G?
Yes, hi guys, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good, welcome to the program.
Thank you, I'm honored.
We just played that track, Love Don't Hurt. Great song.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm honored. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. You've been on with us before here on the program, but it was a while ago. I think it was a few years ago.
Yeah, like over a year.
Oh, easily. Yeah, absolutely. If you are just joining us, Vero G is with us live via Skype. So if you have any questions or feedback or anything for her, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But best thing to do, give us a call at 603-250-6007. And, hey, I want to congratulate you, by the way, on this Forbes.com
Thank you.
Top 10 innovators shaping the industry in 2023. This is fantastic, and this is recent, right? This was last month.
Yes, definitely. This is just at the end of this month or so, March or so.
Yeah.
And I'm just honored to even receive this amazing recognition. And to see that my hard work is still being paying off, and to continue blessing other people where we provide with platforms and to help everyone along the way. So this is just a big like, oh my God moment for me. I was like, oh my God, this happened.
Yeah. I mean, did you know this was coming before they put it out, or was it a surprise, or?
Well, technically, I you go on, like, they have a lot of things online, like Instagram and stuff. So it was like a survey. So I said, you know how everybody just goes on and puts their information, and you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
So so pretty much how this worked out, they contacted me, and I was like, is this even real? Because I was like, skeptical there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I spoke to a gentleman, and we corresponded. I did my research on him, and best to behold, this is a real thing. And to find out, just to be a part of this, it was like, whoa, this is mind blowing. And he heard my story, and he said, yeah, you definitely we would love to have you be a part of this. I was like, okay, awesome, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And yeah, you do a lot of stuff. They have you listed, of course, under media and entertainment, which is good because you've got a lot going on. Obviously, you've got the music, and that song, Love Don't Hurt, I assume that's about domestic violence. Is that correct?
Yes. So as you guys know, I am a domestic violence survivor and gone through many situations in the past. And this song, I felt like I wanted to kind of refresh or tell people my story in the past and let people know that this thing is still out there. There's high numbers of statistics since COVID happened, where a lot of domestic violence cases have been rising up. And there's been a lot of situations where now it's getting escalated. And I felt like there was a song that was needed right at this time to be put out there from my own personal experience, and so let the viewers and the people tuning in and checking out like that, just really real life stories. And same time, I felt like I did the video, so big shout out to Real Lyrics and Z1 for that, and it's a beautiful storytelling of the whole song itself.
Yeah, I always say on the show, anytime that you can take something traumatic or any kind of negative experience that's happened to you and turn it into art, whether it's music or painting, like Jenny, she paints, or or whatever it is, writing, or but especially music. When you can take it and do something that's going to touch other people who can relate to what you're going through, or maybe just even to raise awareness of it. Do you do other activism and advocacy in that realm as far as domestic violence goes?
Yes, yes. So besides domestic violence, which was like one of my big factors, I also do women empowerment. That's another thing. I was always to try to help out when I can with in music or with my platforms. I try to encourage women about that. Another thing which really is close to me is women who have been abused, raped, or what the case may be. So that's another factor I do tune in time to time, and with my just doing motivational speaking workshops or anything that anybody wants to hire me or whatever the case may be. I'll talk of that topic. I'm more than willing to be a part of that and to express my own personal situation, and also to let other women or men as well know that it's not your fault that you went through a circumstance, and that you overcame it. You're still here. So these are just different milestones I want to just touch a base upon your listeners and everyone tuning in right now, and to know that I do a lot of work behind the scenes, and I really want to get things done. And talking about domestic violence, I also have a petition. I did this over a year ago, actually. It's still up now. It's on www.change.org. And that it's about domestic violence. Changing back to that scenario, it's called End Domestic Violence. And with that, we have over 100, I think, signatures. We need over another 100 to get the ball rolling, hopefully to be signed by the White House, our President Joe Biden, and to get some of a law or something into effect to have a stronger law for our domestic violence. I don't call them victims, but I call survivors, and hopefully change the systematic of the law system and everything else for that.
Yeah, I like that, calling them survivors instead of victims. That's good, and no, that's great work that you're doing there. Your music, of course, isn't all about that, obviously, and so a lot of it's very very upbeat and so forth. Have you released a lot of music? Like I said, it's been a couple of years since we had you on last, and I would just imagine that it's got to be because you have quite a few different things going on. Is it difficult to find time to work on music with everything else? I mean, I think you've got a radio show, and you're very, very busy. Is it hard to find time to do music?
Honestly, when my downtime, which is very rare these days now, I just like which day do I have off? Which one is it?
Yeah.
Definitely. I would say I utilize my time the best way I can. Like sometimes watch TV or something. But the majority of times when I get the chance to go into my music, into my realm, I feel that's my safe place, and that's the time when I whatever little time I have, I'll get to go to planning to making a new song, or depending what I want to talk about and all that sorts. Actually, talking about that, you guys are getting exclusive here, by the way, on the show. So before that, I want to say just big shout out to you and Jenny, because I love you guys. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So before anything, you guys are getting exclusive here on the show. Officially, I'm trying to push it to May 1st. It's a very special date for me to release my next EP album. It's the 5th one, called Energy. And that's already almost completely done. I just got to get some last minute paperwork in the way. But you guys are getting the first exclusive here that it will be releasing very soon. And I can't wait for you guys to hear it. It's a very beautiful, eclectic sounds from, love songs, breakup songs of that sorts, and something different. So I'm just letting you guys get the first dib on that right now.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Thank you. And that's going to be May 1st?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Excellent. All right. Well, we look forward to that. And that's awesome. Tell us about, so you're a fellow radio host. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, definitely. So actually, we have expanded since last time you spoke. We still at DTF Radio every Wednesday from 5 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Real G Spotlight Radio Show there. Now we also expanded now to AM station, which is called WPAT 930 AM, which is we do Friday shows, which is based off like pretty much like a whole mix show where we have artist music, we play the music and that sorts, and interviews, and we do the same thing on Sunday. So we have now expanded the Spotlight brand to two different similar shows but two different names and that sort. So we're branding out the brand, and it's really great. Thank you so much. It's really cool just to see that people still appreciate what we do, and it's just spreading the love.
How long have you been on that terrestrial station? That's a recent development?
Yes, we just started January of this year, 2023.
Oh, okay, excellent. And you've also got a magazine, right?
Yes. I wish I had one over here. But yes, sir. Yes. So we, it's been, knock on wood, We'll be 4 years strong this year. The Vero G Spotlight Radio Show. Wrong one. Vero G Spotlight Magazine. All these things here. Which one is it? The Vero G Spotlight Magazine. That's out. It's a monthly distribution. Or platform publication, forgive me.
Yeah.
And pretty much, we've been 3 years strong, and still continue on to, provide a lot of these things on amazing platforms for all amazing artists out there.
Yeah, is that available in print form, or is that strictly digital?
It's both. It's
Wow.
either option. Yes, either option for print or digital, or for both. You could get, any of those copies at www.magcloud.com.
Okay. It's magcloud.com?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, M-A-G, Mag. I'll make sure I get it correctly right.
Is that are there other magazines there as well? Is that why it's called that?
Yes, because it's other publications, like other independent, publications, they put their stuff there too as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, I bet there's a lot of interesting stuff there, but that's where we can find your magazine. Excellent. Let me ask you too about, so you're getting back to the music. You've got videos for a lot of your music, and they're really good. We live in an era where it's amazing what you can do just recording with an iPhone. But these videos you have look very professional, and I wanted to ask you about those and what goes into that. And do you have people that you work with on every video? Is it all DIY? How do you go about that?
Yeah, definitely. So before anything, a big shout out for you guys as well. And the people I work with for the videos and that sort, Gem Prime Media, Z1. I work with various video directors. Okay. But usually, I just stay with the same people. So Z1, Gem Prime Media, Gemini Stacks, big shout out to them. And Gary's watching, by the way. I work with usually those people first for now. And I'm open to work with anybody else. But pretty much how we work is just, we have a concept, a treatment, depending on the song, how it goes. And we usually get like location shots. We plan everything in advance. Mm-hmm. And we try to just get things out the way and that sorts. And, the videos I've done, I always wanted to make sure it goes hand in hand with the song, or at least so the people could see the visuals behind it in the story and to touch them in a great way, in an inspirational way, in that sense.
Yeah. How many videos have you done? It seems like you've got quite a few.
God, wow. Yeah, I think like it has to be over 20 videos.
Wow.
It has to be tough. I remember that's been a while, so I don't really I just do it, and I'll be like, all right, next project,
Yeah. I have to ask you about this too. So you're also an author?
Yes. So I see you gotta guess learning a lot more about me. Okay, yes. So he's like, wait a minute, what? So I actually written over 40 publications. They're all available on Amazon.com. Okay. And www.amazon.com. And pretty much my latest book, which I took some time to write that down, is called Mother's Love, and that's on it. Like the whole concept of that book, it's a personalized book about me and my child and the things we had to go through together, being a single mother, and kind of balancing out, my life, his life, and then working together. And with the love we have together, the bond, we went through a lot of hardships and we overcame all those things.
Yeah. And so those are all on Amazon, and you can get them through your website too, I assume, correct?
I think so, but if anything, it's just Amazon, because
just go to Amazon.
Yeah. That's just there. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, very good. So you've got all. Geez, is there anything I didn't ask you about that you're doing? Do you sleep, or do you just work all the time? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I
was just gonna say, and I admire this, by the way, that you do so much. But is it hard to get rest?
You know what? That's a really good question. Sometimes I rarely sleep. I'm gonna be honest with you, Matt. Like, I rarely sleep. Like, I'll be up 2 in the morning, and then I have to go. 6 in the morning, I have to get up for my son. Whatever case is for school, or if it's like weekends. It varies, but usually I stay up late, because I have to work or do things and that sorts and that. So
yeah,
it's a lot of work. But I do want to add to you guys, since the last time we spoke here, I received numerous accolades and awards, and I want to just share that with you guys and your listeners as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I just won last year. I won a CITA Awards for my song "Let Him Heal You," and it was just amazing to see, even acknowledge that people appreciate my music, and to see like the volumes of love and support I got from that. This year alone, I just won 2 awards back to back last month in March. I'm waiting for them right now. I got one from, it's called I Am Her International. I think it's I Am Her International Awards, and that's for Entrepreneur of the Year.
Wow.
In Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I was like, thank you for everybody who voted and supported. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
So much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I won another one that's for Best Female Artist of the Year. It's called We Are Not a Label Awards. So I'm waiting for those two right now as we speak. I contacted the people who are in charge of it. So waiting for that as we speak. But I'm working on more things. We're actually doing the first annual Vero G Awards coming up this month, April 23rd, in the Meadows. That's in Brooklyn. And we do have tickets if you guys are interested to come and support. From any more information, you guys can contact me in that sorts and take it from there. And also, I have a new single called Toxic with myself, my beautiful, amazing soul sisters, I call them, Champagne, Amaj, Betty, and Beyond Blue, and that's produced, of course, by Real Lyrics. And Z1 will be doing a video for that for next month in May. So you guys getting a lot of juice stuff, good stuff going on now.
Wow, very good, very good. Is that now? Are you from New York?
Yes.
That's okay. And do you still live there now?
Yeah. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah. You survived. I forget who it was. I talked to somebody recently. One of the bands that I had on the show, and one of the guys in the band had lived in New York, and then when he was from here, but he had moved out to New York, and then when COVID hit, that was his moment to get out of there because he didn't want to have to deal with all of it. But did you grow up there?
Yeah. Born and raised.
Yeah.
I got accustomed to everything, so it's the norm.
Yeah. He was from here and he moved out there, and then when COVID hit, he said, "Yeah, I'm out of here." But if you grew up there, then obviously that's your home. Do you think you'll ever leave there, or is New York is it home in the sense that, because I hear a lot of New Yorkers talk about how there's nowhere else they'd rather live in the world than New York City.
Yes, it's like the homesick. You get homesick right away as soon as you leave. You're like, I want to go back and see the stuff I usually see.
Yeah.
For me, I'm willing to relocate. You could say, if that's possible, but I always would like to go back to the neighborhood and stuff. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Cool. Well, listen, Vero G, thank you so much for your time today. And anything that we want to make sure that people know about in terms of social media or your website, anything we want to make sure that our listeners are aware of so that they can keep track of everything that you're doing, because you're doing a lot. What should people know about how to follow you online and keep up with it all?
Yeah, definitely. So you guys can follow my Instagram, which is @officialverog. You can follow me on my artist page, Facebook, @VERO2884. You guys could also check my website, which is www.verogmusic.com. And pretty much you can check me there. If you want to book me, you can contact my Instagram, and we'll take it from that point. I do motivational speaking, public speaking. I also do other events and that sorts and that. So yeah, guys, let me know.
Cool. And I'm going to end the segment. We'll let you go in a second, but I'm going to play this track Alive.
Yes.
Great song. Anything we should know about this? Anything you want us to know before I play it?
Yes, definitely. Okay, so we just did this song just as last year. Big shout out to, again, Real Lyrics and Amaj for this amazing opportunity to work with her and to make this song what it is. So pretty much the whole concept of the song is me and her, people going through different things. We talk about mental health awareness in the song. Me going through depression and other situations, and her going through her own battles. And we felt like there was a time we needed to talk about this. And it was just a beautiful collective put together of the song, and hope you guys appreciate that.
Yeah, very cool. It's positive. It's great. So we're going to give that a spin. But I'll let you go. Hey, thank you again, Vero G. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today, and looking forward to May 1st and getting the new music.
Oh, I'm a send to you guys. You already know.
Awesome. We appreciate it very much. All right, my friend. All right, thank you so much. And if you get a chance, get some rest.
I'm gonna try. I'm actually making dinner now, so in between.
There you go. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that is Vero G, and she's very, very busy, which I admire. Let's give this a listen. This track is called Alive. This is from last year. But we're gonna give this a listen. We'll show some more love to our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the balance of our show. It's a very busy day, of course, in the news, if you haven't noticed. Lots going on. So check this out. This is Alive, Vero G here on Matt Connerton Unleashed.
Came for a downfall, heart slowing down, gotta turn my life around, got goals to achieve, been taking the vow. Did you ever think I'd be a hot chick? Look at me now, and I'm hella thick, and you can never be me on your birthday. Forever too on like Tinashe. Call me a warrior, fighting to live. All the pain that I went through, never again. Hunting for my destiny, but I'm not a child. I'm a survivor, and I'm hella wild. Only the real can only relate. We got a lot going on with a lot on our plate. Better with a meantime, fall back and rewind. When your mind clears, everything will be fine.
I feel so alive to move on in my life. Overcome these battles, it feels so right.
Thank the heavens for a lifetime. Made it through, so it's a good sign. Blessed to be at an all-time high and be alive.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Matt Connerton Unleashed as we cruise into our final segment today on the show. Thank you so much again to our friend Vero G for joining us for a bit on the program. And we, of course, are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com. for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Tuesday, April 4, 2023. So nice to have you all with me. If you'd like to get in with a call today, 603-250-6007 is the number, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I am on social media at Matt Connerton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. Of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. By the way, tomorrow on the show, our musical guest will be Trinitite, a great band from Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. A lot of good metal comes out of there, so we'll be shifting gears musically tomorrow on the show. So that will be in the second hour. They will be Skyping in from Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's see. So obviously today on the show, we've been talking about the arraignment today of former President Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, arraigned in the district court in Manhattan. Alex Whiteley said in the chat room, our friend from the UK, I can't help but think nothing is going to happen and Trump will further become a martyr to his cult. Well, here's the thing. So I think, like I was saying earlier, and if you're just joining us, we were analyzing this earlier in the show, of course. I think that all of this helps him in terms of winning the nomination because his base is very bolstered by it. The last number that I saw was $7 million had been donated to Trump's campaign since the indictment was announced. The number that I heard prior to that was $1.5 million was raised after Trump went on Truth Social and said, hey, I expect to be arrested on Tuesday. And then, of course, Tuesday came and went, and that didn't happen. But he raised a cool $1.5 million just from that. So it works from a marketing and branding standpoint. This actually all helps him. And I think it will help him. It will help him to win the nomination. This and the other legal problems that he have. I think it virtually assures that he will be the nominee because this galvanizes that third of the Republican base that loves him unconditionally. And I suspect what we're going to see, and by the way, we do have a new entry into the, we didn't get a chance to mention it yesterday. I don't think we did, but former governor of Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson, is in the race. And Hutchinson, unlike the other Republican candidates, well, I think Nikki Haley has stayed silent, but Ron DeSantis and Mike Pence, they continue to sort of supplicate themselves to Trump, even though neither of them has announced yet actually their candidacy, but they both are doing what they can to try not to upset Trump supporters. So they still speak nicely of the president, the former president, even though they are in theory his political opponents or will be when they announce. But Asa Hutchinson, who I looked up his age, he's 72. I had to look it up because I remember thinking, wow, how old is he? Because it seems like he's been around forever. I've been hearing the name Asa Hutchinson forever. He's also a former congressman, but former governor of Arkansas. He's taking a different tact. He's really trying to claim that lane of, not that he's the only Republican saying this, not by a long shot, but as far as declared candidates, he's saying, look, flat out, Trump should not be the nominee. I mean, he's careful not to pile on. He's not, when he's talking to the media, at least from what I've seen so far, he's not saying, he hopes Trump ends up in prison or anything like that. Nothing like that. He seems to be reserving judgment, and he's very measured in his comments in terms of what the legal system is going to do and how this all proceeds legally for Trump in terms of the legal system. However, he is saying very flatly you know, I give him credit. He's saying, look, Trump absolutely should not be the nominee. When I heard him asked if Trump is the nominee, would he support him? And he kind of dodged on that one. But I suppose there's no reason for him to cross that bridge yet anyway. So, but no, he was flatly saying Donald Trump should not be the nominee, and Asa Hutchinson hopes to, he hopes to be the alternative. But he's not. What he's not doing is the same sort of, I mean, it comes across to me. It's almost uncomfortable to watch. There's something. I mean, it's emasculating. Like Mike Pence, this is a little bit of a tangent, but, I watch Mike Pence, and he is so careful to try not to express any anger or resentment toward Trump over January 6th. He did manage to admit that he was angry at one point. What was it? Was it an interview on ABC? It was that town hall that he did. Was that on ABC News? But even then, because he talked about a conversation that he had with Trump the next day, January 7th. And he said that Trump asked him if he was scared. And Pence said, "No, Mr. President, I was angry." But see, even in that town hall, he was very careful to not say that he was angry at Trump. He just said that he told Trump that he was angry, kind of hinting that he might have been, presenting that he was angry at Trump, but stopping short of actually saying that he was. And, and then of course, when people ask Pence about the election denialism, he says, well, I think the president got a lot of bad legal advice, but he's very careful not to take on Trump directly. And I have to tell you, I find it, look, I'm glad that Pence did the right thing on January 6th and didn't subvert the Constitution or the rule of law, but went ahead with the certification of the election. Pence did the right thing, but I'll tell you, it's sad to me, just not to be, I hope this doesn't come off as sexist. I don't intend it to, but as a man, I look at Mike Pence and I think about how, he talks about January 6th and, he says it was pretty serious. And if you get him talking about the events of that day, he'll talk about it like, yeah, that was serious. And he was so concerned about what was happening. He didn't even trust the Secret Service. He refused to get in that car because he thought they were going to drive him away and he had a job to do. Again, I give him credit for that. He could have run like the Secret Service wanted him to. And he said, I don't want that to be an image the world sees. But again, this guy, he acknowledges that he was in danger that day. But here's what really bothers me about Mike Pence. And again, I say this as a man. He says not only has he acknowledged that he was in danger, but his family was with him. His wife and his daughters were with him on that day. And to watch Mike Pence and his interactions with the media, see, because apparently, I think it was when he was in New Hampshire, apparently when the cameras are off, he's willing to get a little bit snarky about it, to the extent that he's capable of exhibiting anything resembling actual human emotion, which I think is very limited in his case, from what we've all seen. But here's the thing. Here's what bothers me. This man acknowledges that his family, not only him, But his wife and his children were put in direct danger on January 6th. But this same person, this quote unquote man, continues to supplicate himself to Trump, even though he has very delicately and very carefully acknowledged that that Trump's words and actions might have played a role in what happened on January 6th. Because here's the thing. I don't claim to be a tough guy. You know, I'm not some macho guy. I'm not like, I don't ride a Harley. I don't, I whatever it is, I don't go to a bar and have a bunch of beers and I don't go to strip clubs. Whatever it is you're supposed to do when you're trying to be a big macho guy. I don't do any of that, but I just have to tell you, if I were in a situation where, say, I was in danger, but also Jenny was with me, and maybe members of my family were with me as well. And so whatever it was that was causing the danger was not only a danger to me, but a danger to people I love. I cannot imagine going through something like that, where people I love are put in danger unnecessarily over something that never should have happened, over lies. I cannot imagine watching people I love have to run away as we're, obviously, there was Secret Service there, but people I love having to fearfully run away because of a situation where they are put in danger along with me, knowing where it all started. Because obviously Pence, he doesn't say it directly because he can't, because he's so afraid of upsetting the base of the Republican Party if he wants to be the nominee. I cannot imagine that type of scenario happening and then publicly over and over again supplicating myself to the person who caused all of that. I cannot imagine it. And again, I'm sorry if this sounds sexist, but I, as a man, could not possibly do that. If I were Mike Pence, you know what I would have done probably, actually? I would have stood my ground like he did on that day and not run. I would have tried to get my family out of there, and maybe he did. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I would have stayed or hid from the insurrectionists, I think it's an appropriate term. And I would have done my job that night, certified, they wrap up at like 3 a.m., certify the election. And then the very next thing I would have done, I would have resigned. I would have said, okay, I've done my constitutional duty and I've certified the election, and now I resign because I'm not going to work. I'm not going to be a VP for that man 1 second longer. He put my family in danger. And that's the one thing as a man you don't let anyone ever do. And I would have made sure, or maybe I might not have resigned immediately, actually. Maybe I would have waited till the next day and then had the meeting with Trump. And then explain to him how I felt about my family, about people I love, and people who, as a man, I am supposed to protect. And he put them in danger. And I would let him know in no uncertain terms how I felt about it. And then I would resign. Or maybe the police would be, or the Secret Service would be taking me away in handcuffs at that point. Because again, as a man, I've got a few different ideas of how that encounter might go. But you put my family in danger, you put Jenny in danger, I'm not going to then go out in public and do everything I can to tie myself into a pathetic pretzel at every opportunity, trying to do everything, trying to blame everyone I possibly can, except you, the person who put the people I love in danger. I mean, that is probably about as unmanly a thing as I can think of. And I don't know what the point is in the end anyway. It's not going to get him the nomination, what he's doing. But I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine you put people I love in danger and I'm just going to go, well, you know, I think somebody gave him some bad legal advice, or maybe some of the things he said in that speech he shouldn't have said, or whatever it is Pence says. I mean, I look at him and Mike Pence, when I see him doing that, I think he might literally be one of the most pathetic people in politics that I've ever seen. I mean, how does he do that? How does he even look at his wife and his children after doing that? Or do they just not even get it? Or are they just okay with it all? I don't know. I couldn't do it. I could not do that. And again, I'm no big tough guy, but you put people I love in danger, there will be consequences, and I'm not going to go out and then shill for you or try to cover for you or pretend that I'm just all okay with it. And by the way, maybe Mike Pence really is all just okay with all of it. I don't know what goes on in his head. I don't know if in those moments he's having to hold in and kind of stuff down some rage that he would love to let out, if it's building in him and he would just love to say everything that he's thinking. Or maybe not. He might just be the husk. He might just be the soulless husk of a quote unquote man that he appears to be. I don't know. He might not feel anything. I don't know. But it is so sad watching him. And DeSantis, it's a little weird watching, Trump calls him all these insults like Meatball Ron and Ron DeSanctimonious, and then DeSantis goes out of his way to say, well, we won't extradite Trump from Florida, which was never going to happen anyway. Obviously, Trump was, there wasn't going to be some sort of a standoff where Trump was going to refuse to leave Florida to go to Manhattan, right? That wasn't going to happen. So DeSantis was just virtue signaling. But he's another one. I mean, you can say whatever you want about him, and he'll still supplicate himself to Trump. But at least, I mean, Asa Hutchinson, I can at least have some respect for. I mean, he's a former Republican governor of Arkansas. I probably don't agree with him politically on much. But at least he's out there saying, hey, think what you want, but I don't think Trump should be the nominee. Where are these blue state Republican governors? I mean, is Chris Sununu going to run? Well, we're not really a blue state. We're kind of a swing state. We're bluish. But I was disappointed Larry Hogan decided not to. But in the end, what's it matter? Trump's going to be the nominee. It doesn't matter. You know? Well, if you'd like to get in with a call, we have a little bit of time. I don't know how I got to talking about Mike Pence, but maybe because it's been on my mind. But I just wonder, like, if you're, you know, even if you're someone who agrees with him ideologically, I mean, if you're a father and you have a son, is that what you'd want your kid to grow up to be? Someone whose family can be put in danger and he'll just find a way to be okay with it, apparently. I mean, not me. I mean, I don't have any children, but geez, that's the last thing I would want. Let's see. We do have some more Facebook chat comments here. Crystal, our friend from Illinois, agrees with Alex that there won't be any consequences for Trump. Jenny says he could run the country from a jail cell. By the way, that literally is true. That's a question that comes up a lot. There is nothing legally, constitutionally, anything that says that Trump cannot run, that he cannot be the nominee, that he cannot be on the ballot, that he couldn't run the country from jail. I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. I don't think Trump is going to jail. But in theory, just so we're clear, legally, there is nothing to prevent that from him being president. Again, I don't think it's going to, because even though, like I said, all of these legal problems, it helps him with the base, and I think it virtually guarantees him the nomination, but it's not going to help him in the general election at all. Independents, suburban Republicans who already abandoned him in 2020, they're not going to look at all this and say, yeah, you know, this looks good. Maybe we'll go with this. You know, I mean, unless Biden just really starts to implode, which is not necessarily outside the realm of possibility. But as I've said, I think Joe Biden is selfish. Joe Biden should step aside and, you know, let someone else have a run at the Democratic nomination. You know, as I've always said on the show, you know, I appreciate Biden getting those, making sure those vaccines got distributed. And I think a lot of his COVID policy was very sound. And I appreciate that about President Biden. And now, sir, thank you for your service. You can go now. It's time to let somebody younger in there, but he's not gonna give that up. And I think he's incredibly selfish for that. Let's see. There's a discussion in the chat room we probably don't want to go back to necessarily. Crystal posted this. The news just listed a bunch of dates having to do with checks issued by Trump for indictment. Question is, are they sure Trump signed those checks personally with a pen and weren't automated signatures and thus he didn't know about them? I know my payroll checks by my employers were all automatedly signed by a computer. They were not personally signed by the name of the signature. Yeah, that's an interesting point, Crystal, and it does raise I think is a very interesting legal question, something I've never considered before. Although, to quote or to paraphrase Governor DeSantis of Florida, I don't know what goes into paying off a porn star. But that does raise what I think is an interesting legal question. And I wonder if this has been tested in other cases, and it probably has, because it seems like it would almost be impossible that it hasn't. But, if your signature is automated and computer generated and you've consented to that, obviously, but yeah, I mean, you know, if you work for a company, especially if it's a big company, on your personal paycheck, if you get a paycheck anymore, direct deposit is what people do now mostly. But if you do get a personal paycheck issued to you by your company, you know, it's not, you know, there's a signature on the check, but that signature is automated. It's not like the president of the company is sitting there signing everyone's paycheck every day. But that does raise a very interesting question, Crystal, and perhaps we will learn the answer eventually. Melanie says in the chat, he would have to authorize the use of that. I wonder if that matters. Yeah, I wonder that too. That's a great question. Crystal says, but if a computer automatically signed those checks, he would have given a blank authorization to do that for accounts payable, like payroll, for instance. He doesn't authorize each individual paycheck to be cut. Same process could be in place for accounts payable. An authorized employee generally enters the data into a computer to do it. He could argue that person just entered data without notifying him. Yeah, it raises a very interesting question. Paulie C from Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C is in the Facebook live chat. Of course, you can hear Retro Spectrum Radio every Friday night from 8 to 11 p.m. here live on WMNH. And I have the honor and privilege of being one of Paul's co-hosts on that show. By the way, Jenny shared in the chat room links to for our great guest we spoke with earlier, Vero G. My dad's in the chat room. Let's see. Dad says in the chat, I would have said, okay, I've done my constitutional duty because I'm not going to work. I'm not going to be a vice president for that man 1 second longer. And that's the one thing. I think my dad's using voice to text. I'm not sure about all of that, but he did say, I would have said, okay, I've done my constitutional duty because I'm not going to work 1 second longer for that man. So I think I think Dad's agreeing with me on that part. Yeah. I mean, that's I think Pence should have resigned. By the way, is that a unique opinion? Because I've literally never heard anyone else say that Pence should have resigned after certifying the election. Let's see. Tom Blanchard says, I don't think I would want him to cover my back in the heat of the battle. Referring to Mike Pence, I assume. Well, actually, that could be for either of them, right? Crystal says, I don't trust any politicians to cover my back. They would be the first ones to stab you in the back if it benefits them or their career. They want you out of the way. Yep, that is true. Dad says, a president of the company is sitting there signing everyone's paycheck every day. Google given a blank authorization to be sure to find the election. I'm agreeing with you, Matt. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad. Oh, wow. We're almost out of time. Okay. We do need to begin to wrap up. I'm actually going to end the show today with a track from Trinitite called how do you say this? I know the term. Synesthesia? Is that how you say it? I think that's where you see, what is it? You see or you hear words as colors or something like that. Synesthesia? Maybe that's it. I'm not sure how to say it. I'll have to ask them tomorrow. But they're going to be our musical guest tomorrow, the band Trinitite. So looking forward to that. And thank you again to Vero G for joining us earlier on the program. And thank all of you, of course. If you missed any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnerton.com. And of course, I will, there was something else I wanted to mention. It's slipping my mind now. Oh, but this wasn't the thing that is slipping my mind. But if you haven't seen it yet, go look up Vince McMahon's mustache. It is truly frightening. All right, we do have to go. So I'll leave you with this from the band Trinitite, who are going to be joining us tomorrow on the show in the second hour. And that's going to do it for me for now. I will talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody. Oh, I know what it was I wanted to mention. If you're listening live on Tuesday, Through the Stage Door with the great Rob Dion is coming up next on WMNH 95.3. And then immediately after that is the replay of Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. So if you missed it Friday night, it will air tonight. I'm trying to get better about remembering to plug everything. And then, of course, don't forget, be back here bright and early tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for The Morning Show with Peter White. And on that note, I will leave you with this. Bye, everybody.